Packers fans out here to stay. Cheeseheads green and gold all day. Jordan Love lead us to the bay. Every game we find a way. Green Bay hustle, grind it up. Hit the field, we don't bluff. Touchdown dances, feel the love. Jordan's got that MVP stuff. It's time for oh, let's go. Packers bringing that show. It's time for oh, you know. Green and gold gonna glow. Lambeau Field, our sacred ground. Feel the vibe, hear the sound. Packers fans so loud and proud. Jordan Love, he's wearing the crown. Lambeau Field, our sacred ground. Feel the vibe, hear the sound. Packers fans so loud and proud. Jordan Love, he's wearing the crown.
Hello, and welcome to the victory post-game / Monday episode of OPE. I am Iowa Joe. That is Cheese Talk Brian Rago. Mike is being a big baby, claiming he's sick. We all know he just doesn't want to be on here. Brian, the Packers go into New York. It wasn't pretty, but they did come out with a victory. What are your initial thoughts?
I think the initial spark of the game was when Jordan Love went out hurt and brought in Malik Willis. I think that got the team going.
Isn't that kind of crazy? They immediately go down the field and score on that drive, and there were no issues at all. But I don't know. You know, it's not one of those things that you can sit here and say that.
You're right.
Well, put Willis in over Jordan because Jordan just can't hack it. Jordan can do it. It just I don't know what the issues are there, but we are going to do our normal OPE style of segments and that, but just to give our initial thoughts and everything. Defense looked weak to start out with, didn't it?
Yeah, some pretty big open. I mean, 3rd and 6, 4th and 3. I mean, you're giving up all these plays. It just didn't seem in sync, you know. And you're gonna lay back on teams like this, and you're gonna get smoked against better competition. That's the way I look at it.
But the thing is, I don't know, because they only gave up 10 points to the defending Super Bowl champs last week. So
Yeah,
what is this team? I really don't know. It's something else. I can't.
it's bizarre this year because you got everybody going against like Matt LaFleur, and then you got Jeff Hafley in the press conference this last week talking like he's a head coach, defending Matt LaFleur, and then you got some of these little rumors starting about, well, if the Packers don't make the playoffs and they part ways with Matt LaFleur, there's already interest in him going back to Atlanta, and it's just like, here we go, you know.
I don't think there's any rumors on that. I think what it is there was a talk radio show guy down there saying that, why not bring him home if the Packers are going to.
Yeah.
But
I just don't know. I don't know what the answer is, because it's like you have all weapons you need. I mean,
it's something that Mike and I talk about often, is they are going to have to reshuffle that offensive line. Jordan does not look comfortable behind that ramshackle offensive line, and if they're not sold on Rasheed Walker being the starter going forward, and they put all their chips on Jordan Morgan, he needs to go to left tackle. If Belton is supposed to be this guard or tackle of the future, he needs to go in at tackle. If Zach Thomas is supposed to be your center of the future, he needs to go to play center. So it's one of those things that, yeah, you can see that when Jordan is put under pressure, he's not, or I shouldn't say that, because he's pretty good under pressure. He's not comfortable behind that offensive line.
right. There was one play today where I think he was rolling out to the left, and he went for a pass. I think it was dropped, but he had like 10 to 15 yards where he could have wide open space where he could have ran and gotten the first down. Where I don't know. It sucks too, having people getting hurt. With Jacobs going out, but then Emmanuel Wilson stepped up and he played huge. he was averaging, I forgot what they said, like they said the average like rush per yard in the NFL was like 4.2 or something like that. The Packers are like at some number way above that mark, and even Romeo Dobbs had like three huge drops today. Sure hands Dobbs all year long. That could have changed the whole. We wouldn't come on to the final play of the game to decide it.
We'll get into that a little bit more when we start going into our segments, but I think there's a little bit behind that because he didn't look comfortable either. But True North chiming in as usual. Ha ha, fools you. I only got shorts on, so suck it, True North. But let's go ahead and jump into our segments, and we'll get into it. So my mouse doesn't want to work. I don't have them listed up. Hang on. Don't you just love technology?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when you were sending me the link, on my phone, I went to the mobile app on Twitter, and it's like nothing showed. So then I went to like the desktop version on my phone, and there it was. And I had to put like some encryption code in. It's like, what the
I
hell is
know.
Elon doing?
I don't know. I'm getting sick of it either. But here's my.
Fresh cheese.
Oh, that didn't play for me. There it played. That was really delayed. So, Brian, since you are kind of filling in for Mike right now, what are you going to throw in there as your first fresh of the day of the game?
First fresh, like what,
Fresh
what?
is so basically fresh is good, stale is and of course moldy is bad. So we start out with fresh being what were the goods of the game?
Fresh, like I stated earlier, was when Malik Willis came in. I think he got the offense going. Josh Jacobs ran the ball good when he was out there. Emmanuel Wilson ran the ball good. Christian Watson, huge, huge. That touchdown, his first touchdown, he could easily went to the defense, but he fought for that. Before, as he's going to the ground and got possession of it. Defense, I don't know. It's kind of hard to.
Go ahead and talk about whichever one you want first. We'll break it down to
Yeah,
each different one.
no, it's fine. I was just trying to say defense is fresh, but I stopped myself because they weren't really that fresh in my opinion, so I just stopped it.
Well, yeah, I do have to say that for one of my freshes, I will have to go with. I will have to say the inside linebackers were still playing well. I mean, Edge had a missed tackle here or two there, but they really stuck around. They were doing what they could, but you could tell the defense as a whole was just kind of getting wore out by whatever the Giants were throwing at them. So, but to go back to your point with Watson, yeah, he looked like a great receiver today. I mean, he had strong hands on the one touchdown catch. There was the other deep catch that he was battling through. So, I don't have my stats pulled up right now, but I know he pulled up pretty good stats for today and really stepped in there when the Packers needed him. So, but yeah, I have to say linebacker play is one of my fresh for this game because they were pretty good. True, I don't know if I'm going to agree with you on that so much. Matt, yeah, maybe was a little bit more fresh today just because his play calling seemed good, but you could tell there was also a little frustration between him and Jordan for the day because the one that stands out that in my mind for the most part is when the play clock, I can't remember at what point of the game it was, but the play clock was running low and they had to burn a timeout. And before they cut to commercial, you could read LaFleur's lips saying, just call the fucking play. So that's a whole nother thing where I have to wonder if there's a little bit of disconnect between Jordan and LaFleur at the moment.
There's Can I jump in on that? This is
Yeah.
kind of like off topic, but there is stuff I don't know. I forgot where I heard it from, but people are kind of questioning like the chemistry with like Love and LaFleur, and if you think back to how many times have we told like about Aaron Rodgers switching to play in the huddle, switching to play in the huddle, like going against what LaFleur was calling. Do you think Rodgers was in somewhat kind of way masking LaFleur, and now that Rodgers is gone, that is kind of showing that maybe it was more Rodgers running that offense than it was LaFleur?
No, because you can still see some of LaFleur's
Right,
genius in there. So I mean, I know this was last year, but just go back when Jordan got hurt and Malik had to step in for, those times that Jordan got hurt in the 2 games that he started in. That gameplay was amazing.
right.
And we've seen bits and even going back to the Detroit game during week 1, that calling was amazing. And even against Washington, you could see times that play calling was looking amazing. It's just, I don't know. I go back to, I don't think Jordan is comfortable behind that ramshackle offensive line at the moment.
Hey, when he drops back, he's dropping back like 18 to 20 yards before he even looks downfield.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, you think about it, that's trying to give him space between him and the offensive line, because we saw it again today where he was just constantly under pressure, which I know in the NFL, quarterback has to at least get the ball out. I think the average time for that is like 2.8 seconds, or it's under 3 seconds that you have to get the ball out, because that's what a good pass rush will bring against you. But I, I don't, I don't know. I can't say, as much as Mike and I rail against what LaFleur does, I do think that he is still capable of being good to great play caller.
No, I think he is too. A lot of that's at him on him, but I still think some of I mean, yeah. I mean,
I think he gets
lot,
stubborn. I
yeah,
think he gets stubborn where it's like, well, the whole basis of my offense is the run game, so that's what we're going to stick with.
yeah. And
And
then
go
part of
ahead.
the game, I was listening to on the radio because I was in between Green Bay and Oshkosh today. But you hear how they got trips. They got trips to the left, and you got what, like Jacobs in motion on the backfield. It's like, oh my God, it's a freaking swing pass. It's like, here we go.
But that's the whole part of LaFleur's offense, which it makes
Right,
sense. But when you have it works better when you have an offensive line that can block it. And it's
right.
starting to show that we're not having the offensive line that can block it. So again, I go back to what Mike and I have said numerous times. You're going to have to shuffle that offensive line. Sean Ryan was a weakness today. Jordan Morgan is a weakness at the guard position. Banks is, I don't think we've seen the full potential of Banks because he's been dealing with injuries all friggin' season. And Rasheed Walker has been iffy
Cheeks.
on somewhat. What?
He's been cheeks at times.
At
He's
times,
been
I
ass,
mean, he still
but
again shows his
he's
ability.
doing good though. He's
Yeah,
probably playing. He's probably playing through some pain too. He's probably still has lingering effects from that injury a little bit.
yeah.
And now it's getting colder out too. So
So, but are there any other fresh things that you can think of for the game? I mean, we got to bring up that it's a win. There's no doubt about it. We got to have some things to talk about because it's a win.
right, and no,
Uh,
I mean, I
Josh
think
Riley got his first touchdown today. I think that's a fresh take.
yeah, Kraft 2.0.
I I think he right now with the way he is, he's. I think Mike called him more of a Deguara, but I think he's supposed to be what Musgraves should have been, is more that fullback slash seam guy than anything, and that's similar to what Wiley is. Uh, Savion Williams had that huge catch. Yeah, that's true north.
Gold, Golden, he looked good.
Golden had his catch. I wish they would have been able to connect it. And on top of that, not just the catch, but the pass interference call. He came back to it and got the pass interference on it. I wish he would have been able to get the touchdown out of it because he's still 0-4 this season. But He's playing like a tree, and that's good to. I know he went out for a little bit because he's still dealing with his injuries, but it was good to see him get there. Emmanuel Wilson, maybe you could throw
Yeah.
him in the fresh. He was playing good when Jacobs went down. Outside of that, I can't think of Carrington. Outside of the couple of dropped interceptions, I think Carrington played well.
Keyshawn was okay. He had a couple pass breakups, but he was
Yeah,
getting
burnt quite a
burnt,
bit too.
burnt toast.
Evan got the game sealing interception. So
Parsons.
Parsons got the game sealing sack fumble, and Evan pretty much sealed that the drive before that with his interception. So I think overall it wasn't pretty, but it still comes down to the Packers came out with a win.
Yeah. A win is a win, right? You just
Yeah.
gotta look to the next week. It wasn't pretty, but it was a W. So
So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into our next segment, which is our stale.
What's this stale shit?
Why is there such a delay on that? I don't know. So I'll go first just to give you an idea of what we're talking about with stale. And I think mine will have to be Romeo's performance today. And when I said we'd talk about this a little bit later, this is what I meant, that I think Romeo is still dealing with some kind of injury. I know they said it was his chest. I don't know what it was, but I think that had to contribute a little bit with his performance today because you could just tell he didn't look right. And he even went out for a little bit, and he did come back in and make a solid catch later on in the game. But I think he's dealing with something because he just didn't look okay. He didn't look like normal Romeo Dobbs.
right. Yeah, he didn't like on like receiving the ball, but like on kick returns or punt returns, he's running pretty aggressive. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of forgot about his chest injury from this last against the Eagles. But yeah, like my stale would be. Do I dare say whatever the kicker's name is? I forgot his name already. Luke Narvisic, whatever his name is. You know what? I don't know. We probably would have been better off maybe having McManus out there. I don't know. It's what the hell's going on? Was it the offensive line? I didn't personally see the block extra points and stuff, so I don't know.
The only thing that I have to give him is that wind looked horrible on that on the one missed extra point. You could see where it was going true, and that wind took it clear off to the left.
Yeah.
And that wind was horrible. And the announcers were talking about it and everything else, and even the Giants kicker was struggling with that wind. So yeah, I'd have to put it stale, but I'm going to put it more on
Mother Nature.
well, that and why did they wait until the Giants game to put him in there?
Hey, I was saying all last week, why are you punting from the opponent's 40-yard line? I mean, don't say you're having a kicking competition during the week and then you're gonna come out with McManus and then the next week he's out with an injury that he should have been out with the previous week, and we could have won the game last week had we had a competent kicker that was able to kick field goals.
Mike and I have been against the McManus signing since the day they did it. And for one, he was basically just another version of Mason. They weren't great kickers, but they were okay kickers. They had like an 80% completion rating or whatever you want to call it. Field goal completion, field goal percentage. There you go. My mind is kind of out there. But I think that could have added to it too, that he hasn't seen playing time the last 2 to 3 weeks. we'll get to that here in a second, true, but yeah, I can't really put him as a stale, more so Mother Nature and decision making as the stale factor around him. Because that wind was gnarly. I'm surprised they were able to do as much passing as they were today.
Yeah, especially the longer completions. I mean, the winning touchdown the Watson was a shit. That had to been what, a 30-yard completion, if not more, right?
Yeah, something like that. But
Yeah. So I mean, that's it's yeah. You really can't blame. I mean, he's been yeah. It I don't know. It's to have the kicking issue pop up at the absolute worst time is definitely a Packers thing that we have going for us.
they like again, they brought it on themselves because if
Right.
McManus wasn't truly healed, they could have easily let him set for 2 games. And if Haversick screwed up during those 2 games, that at least gave McManus time to further his progression with his injury, and then you could have trotted him out. But they didn't. They just kept pushing him, and then now we're in the situation. Was Haversick really that bad, or was it just the win? What are we going to do next week? How are they going to handle this going forward? I don't know. I just, like I said, I wish they would have found somebody other than Brandon McManus because I've never had faith in him. And before anybody says it, do not mention Justin Tucker. It's bad enough they signed McManus with his shady past. There's no way I would be okay with Justin friggin' Tucker.
Well, there is videos of pregame warmups of Hazard, whatever his name is, making the 60-yard field goals.
But they also said the wind started kicking up, and if you go
Yeah.
back and watch the game, when they start doing their shots of the
Right.
goalpost and the flags, yeah, those flags were just something else. But I want to get to a couple of these. I forgot about this. Bo Melton had his big carry. Still no pass breakup though. True. Rashawn Gary as a stale. Yeah, he's been. I think that's what hurt. That's been hurting Micah more than anything lately. Is Rashawn's kind of fell off. And it's hard not to double and triple Micah when you don't have to worry about your guy on the other side getting pressure. That was the whole point of that. Is Micah is supposed to take up the double triple team, and Rashawn is supposed to feast off of that, and he just hasn't. What are your thoughts on that?
We need a fresh Lucas Van Ness in there. That would probably get Micah not Micah, but Rashawn Gary some more rotational breaks. You can go between Ngabare and LBN, and
You're really struggling with names today,
I
aren't
am,
you?
I am. It's been a long week, but no, it's if it sucks having because you saw when Van Ness was out there how impactful the whole defensive line was, and when you had him and Devontae White and Parsons were all you know making each other better. Now that they're not out there, it's
That's so funny though, Brian, because for weeks people were or all of last year people were bitching about Lucas Van Ness and how it was a wasted pick, and now people are talking about how they missed Lucas Van Ness out on the field.
well, I was saying this year's like his year to prove it. He's like 6'4" or whatever. I was saying 272 or whatever it is. This is his year to get that next second big contract coming up.
Well, he's got a couple years to wait on that
Well, I'm
because
just saying though, this is like his time to start ramping that up and make it
I
pay out
what
in the end.
because this is his 3rd year in the league. Next year they'll have to make a decision on his 5th-year option, and then they'll have to worry about a contract after that. So I think True North, can you tell me if I'm wrong or right on that? I don't know. Throw something in there. I'll believe you one way or the other. But yeah, Rashawn has not looked good, and maybe he does need to go into a more rotational set, but he's been having, I don't know. Again, from what we saw at the beginning of the season to now has dramatically changed, and I don't know what the issue is. I wish Kawano was on here so I could browbeat him about his Michigan guy not doing his job. So, True also says stale the hands of the Packers wide receivers. Outside of, I mean, we already talked about the Dobbs situation where I think with his health, and you got to remember if he's dealing with a chest injury, who knows what kind of injury it is. So if he's having to extend his arms, that might be painful for him. And, it could be kind of like when you're dealing with a back injury and you take a misstep and then all of a sudden you've got pain shooting up your back. It could be the same thing with a chest injury, that as soon as he overextended his arms, man, that pain could have shot through the chest. We don't know what kind of injury it is. Yeah, LVN was drafted in 2023, so this would be his, 2023, 2024, 2025. Yeah, this is his third year, so next year it'll be his year 4, and they'll have to make a decision on his 5th-year option, and then, I mean, they can still negotiate a contract, but most teams will decide on the 5th-year option before starting contract conversations. And then Wicks had the one big drop, and then you really didn't see Wicks again the rest of the game. I was trying to pull up my stats here while you were talking. Yeah, I don't have any.
I wonder why Malik Heath was held back in Green Bay.
That is going to be another one of my stales. Obviously, it's got to be some kind of coach disciplinary decision, because you just don't leave a healthy wide receiver in Green Bay for the hell of it. I guess there's rumors flying that he wasn't happy on the sideline when Bo Melton was getting more snaps than he was, and maybe that carried over into practice, or maybe they decided, hey, because of your actions on the sideline versus the Eagles, you're going to sit this game out and think about it. I do have to go back and mention that was one of the things that people talked about when he was coming out the year he was draft eligible, was he did have a bit of an attitude issue. And I do remember thinking that, yeah, there's possibility of truth there, but and it's a fair point, because Bo Melton has been training as a cornerback all friggin' offseason and season. When wide receivers start dropping because of injuries, you shifted from using Malik Heath more back to using your guy that you're trying to transition to the cornerback position.
And
So,
Heath was making good catches. He was playing good, I thought. So
so
something had to have happened that would have been like, okay, we're gonna trust in Bo Melton over Malik Heath, even though Malik Heath has more production on offense. And Bo, it's just, I don't know, whatever.
Bo has
It's
more versatility. Bo's got more speed than Malik
yeah,
does. So
and he
that's
showed it today too.
yeah. So that's definitely a stale, is the whole Malik Heath situation. I hope it doesn't end Malik's career in Green Bay, because I am still a Malik truther. I've been on the Malik train since he was draft eligible. I was so happy when the Packers picked him up as a UDFA, because I said if he can get his head on straight and go out there and show what he's got, then he's going to be a solid receiver for a long time. And so, yeah, we're going to get to Moldy here in a minute, Truth. So hold your horses on that one. Is there anything else stale that you want to bring up?
No.
Okay. All right, Truth. We'll go ahead and jump to our Moldy. We're kind of flying by on this. Hey, Mike, remember this the next time. Keep your sentences short and sweet. We don't have to go on these long diatribes.
Yeah, Mike.
It's a Moldy cheese.
Don't you love my sound effects? I wonder why it's friggin' taking so long to play them. But so we'll go ahead and throw Trues out here real quick. Moldy Cheese Musgraves, 1 reception for -1 yard, literally going backwards. Technically almost had 2 receptions for minus yards and 2 fumbles. And this was definitely not a game for Luke Musgrave. I don't know. He's definitely not. And Mike and I have said this a long time too. He is definitely not a Tucker Kraft replacement. He was more to be a complementary asset to Tucker, and he's definitely not lived up to his ability.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard going from watching Tucker Kraft just dominate to have some guy in to play tight end that is doesn't seem like he has the ambition to go downfield and make a play. You know.
I, I I wonder if he's putting too much pressure on himself too. The whole, oh well, shit, Tucker's down now. I have to step in and do all this stuff, and I don't know. But yeah, Luke did not look great today. They have been limiting his snaps anyway. Uh, so I don't know. I do honestly believe that had Tucker not got injured, Musgraves was on the out anyway, because there is the rumor that Denver was in conversations with the team for a tight end, but those conversations ended when their other tight end got injured. They didn't mention any names, any teams, but if you put 2 and 2 together, it kind of makes sense that Denver was wanting a tight end. Packers had a tight end that they were willing to give up, but then Tucker got injured and they decided not to move on from Musgraves.
Yeah,
I could see in the offseason Musgraves being on the move.
I wouldn't be against it.
It just sucks for him because his rookie year was basically a wash because of all the injuries he was suffering from. Last year kind of sucked for him because Tucker emerged and they stopped really focusing on Musgraves. And this year, who knows what was going to happen this year. But yeah, Musgraves, he couldn't even stay on his feet when he fumbled the ball. I don't know what it is with him that he just cannot stay on his feet. But yeah, Moldy. I'll throw my whole concerns with the offensive line back in there as Moldy. Uh, the whole interior is looking weak, and when your interior looks weak, that makes your tackles look bad because the tackles can't cover all 5 positions of the offensive line. And Sean Ryan, I know a couple guys like Shavink and Leahy were talking about on their most recent episode that maybe Sean Ryan was looking good in his snaps as replacement. Maybe if he takes a step forward, he'll be the center of the future, and he didn't take a step forward this game. So I don't think that's happening anytime soon. There's still time for him, but again, I go back to they just need to reshuffle the line. If they think Jordan Morgan is their left tackle of the future, put him at left tackle. If they think Zach Tom is their center of the future, he needs to go to center. If Belton is their right tackle of the future, he needs to go to tackle. If he's the guard of the future, he needs to go to guard. Don't keep playing stubborn with these things. Find something that's going to work and not just let Jordan get killed on every friggin' snap.
Right.
So what you got? What are you gonna put in there under Moldy?
I would say some of the predictable play calling. You know, it's getting pretty stale for us Packer fans. To the point to where it's like again, you hear on the radio if the trips to the left, motion running back motion to the left, it's going that way. Luckily, the one play that I saw on TV, Jacobs ended up turning that what looked like it could have been like a loss into a first down conversion where they challenged saying he stepped out of bounds, but he didn't step out of bounds. So, um, I guess I mean, I get it why you call them plays because you gotta counter against the defense and what you think they're gonna do. It's like a like battleship. But I think it's try to be a little bit more creative. It just don't like you run like even like last week you ran that one play that screen pass to the heavy side to the trip side or whatever. Run the same formation, but go to the opposite side of the field with something. If they're the last play of the game, well, it's coming this way, it's coming this way. Audible out of it and go to the different side with something. The second play or something like that because Josh Jacobs knew it, Jordan Love knew it, and once the ball was snapped, the whole team knew it. It's like you know, it's like
But you can also put a little bit of that on Jordan because if Jordan has the same leeway as Rodgers did, where he can audible out of something if he sees it, then why didn't he audible out of that?
I don't
You
know.
know, so that's where Mike and I were talking all week about was what's the is loving is Love too scared to do it? Is Love not comfortable enough to do it? What's going on there? But yeah, I mean, again, we know what kind of play caller LaFleur can be, and it seems like he gives that up. I don't know. He plays for the tie more often than he plays for the win. You could even see it today where it just seemed like he wanted to play for the tie and had I don't know what it is with him where he just and I made this joke all season and Mike has even kind of fallen behind it because it's making more and more sense. It's like Matt LaFleur thinks you can only score so many points in a season. You can only score like 600 points in a season, so you can't waste points on one game because you might need them in a different game. And it's like, Matt, you can score as many friggin' points as you can in a game.
Yeah, that's why
And
you use your term all gas, no brake, right?
or wake up with your piss hot or whatever it is. And so far, he's not shown any of that. I mean, he's had moments of it. Like I said, the first week against Detroit, we were all excited about that. Washington, you could see it in there, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. He showed a little bit of it with against Arizona, but that was still even iffy. But I, my problem is, and I know there's been a lot of talk that, oh well, his seat's hot, his seat's hot. I don't know because we know what kind of coach Matt LaFleur can be, but we don't know why he's not being that type of coach. We don't. I don't know. Maybe it is a Bisaccia thing that Bisaccia's there telling him, hey, you might not want to do this. Hey, you might not want to do this. Well, you know what? The first thing I would do, shut the fuck up, Rich.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Jason left his ass in Arizona.
Well, I'd have left his ass in Oakland, or not Oakland, Las Vegas. We all thought that was going to be hype because he's supposed to be this savant for special teams, and we haven't seen anything out of him. And now he's the assistant head coach, and still haven't seen shit out of him. But I don't know if this would be a stale or a moldy, so I'm going to put it as a both. But the lack of turnovers. There were so many times they could have had turnovers,
No.
interceptions, uh, but on two of them alone, they could have been interceptions, but their own teammates defended the interception.
Yeah.
Carrington could have had an easy interception, but for some reason,
And on that one, he gave up on it. Bounced off his shoulder pad. If you had turned it on, he would have been able to catch that.
right. But the two that I'm thinking of right now is the one where he could have caught it, but it was in his hands, and Isaiah McDuffie keeps trucking at him and knocks it
Yeah.
free from his hands. It's like, Isaiah, what the hell are you doing? And then the other one is Nixon could have had his, but the same thing happened. McKinney stuck his hand in there and knocked it from Nixon. It's like, are you guys not wanting to have these turnovers? I was waiting for something to happen on the Evan Williams one.
Yeah. I got the moldy cheese for you right here. This
What
is
do you got?
this cheesehead's like, I don't know, like 35 years old. It's from when I was a little kid. So yeah, that's my moldy cheese for you. No, it's just frustrating. Like you go into every week like okay, what phase of the team is going to let us down this week? What phase of the team? I mean, in all honesty, I thought the overall like silver lining, like you hate to see people get hurt, especially your franchise quarterback, but it took, in my eyes, it took Malik Willis to go in there and spark the offense and get the juices going for the whole team. You know, so that was
And
kind of my.
I think the hit that Jordan took really sparked him the next time he came out too, because he looked completely different when he came back from the
Yeah,
tunnel. So
drugs are a hell of a thing.
yeah, no shit. Uh, True, you missed it. That was Brian's first fresh. We already talked about Watson. That just shows you're not listening, you some bitch. But yeah, I couldn't believe how there could have been so many interceptions today, but for one, they were dropping them, and for two, their own teammates were defending were knocking them loose. It's like, come on, guys, you could have easily had four interceptions, and you got one.
There's the Three Stooges out there going for a ball, you know.
Yeah, it's no kidding. Uh, is there anything else you got for any kind of stale, moldy that sticks
No,
out to you?
no, I want to go. The play calling. I don't know. There wasn't as many holding penalties that I saw today, so it's, I guess, a good thing. But just the
No,
play
they just
calling.
let them run free.
I mean, I get, you try to, one up them or try to be two steps ahead of them on defense, and it's just, just I don't know. It's hard because like we know what Matt is capable of from the past, and like we expect that every single game, and we're not getting it. And I think another huge thing is injuries. Like if we have a healthy Dobbs, healthy Watson, healthy Reed, healthy, you know, fourth receiver, maybe that might open up for Musgrave to be more productive because you got four other targets out there that one might cause for a double team or two might, you know what I'm saying? So that might open the pathway for Musgrave to get more catches in bigger numbers. But right now it's like they know we ran a lot of our offense to our tight end, and now that tight end ain't there. So now, okay, here's not run a play, you know.
Well, and to add on to that, I think the offense allowing so much pass rush to get to Jordan also hurts Musgraves in a bit, because Musgraves is a tight end for a reason. He's not running a 4.29 40. He's running like a 4.5 4.6 40. So it does take a little bit more for him to get going. And if Jordan's got to get it out in less than 2 seconds, that's not enough time for Musgraves to get loose. So yeah, something's got to give, and we got to rely on what we got. And now I think they're wishing they would have never cut loose Ben Sims, because he would have been a heck of a guy to have at the moment, at least in the
Where
blocking terms.
where's he at?
He
Where'd he
got
go?
they released him, and he was picked up on waivers by Minnesota. Yeah, that was a
Oh,
couple weeks
okay.
ago, just before the Tucker Kraft injury. But I do want to throw Matt Ozarek out there, because his snapping was a little shitty today, so that could have hurt the field goal tries too. But it almost cost him on one of the punts. If Whelan wouldn't be the man and be able to do almost everything, and I forgot to put Whelan in as a fresh, because those last two punts were just nuts. Uh, I think with the wind, him nailing 260-plus yard kicks is just unreal. And then
Yeah.
being able to wrangle in one of the bad long snaps and nail it 60 yards is unreal. He's the Celtic Cannon for a reason, True North. True doesn't think I can get Celtic Cannon started for Daniel Whelan, and I'm going to keep it going. So
Yeah, keep it going. Yeah, he did good considering the conditions today. Definitely.
So I don't know. You got any final thoughts on this before we wrap it up?
No, I just think they gotta start. They gotta start. I think faster on offense, preferably in the first quarter.
Yeah,
You know.
and to be able to go throughout the game and not just give up after the second quarter.
Yeah, and not give us cardiac arrest in the process.
And
You know.
they're going to have to pick up because next week it's Minnesota, and next week starts our run into our
The North.
the North games because you got Minnesota, Detroit, and then Chicago. That's 3 straight NFC North games, so they're going to have to pick it up because the
Yeah,
NFC
for
North
sure.
is going to come in and play. Even though, like, I don't know how did Minnesota do today. I know they were playing the Bears.
They lost 19-17.
Okay, so they're even though they're not looking great, they're still going to come in and play, or they're still going to play the Packers hard. Chicago is starting to ramp up a little bit, so they're going to play the Packers hard. Detroit's not going to is going to come in not happy losing week 1 against the Packers, so they're going to play out of their minds. So, yeah, they definitely
Yeah,
have to ramp up. We can't keep just playing sloppily like this.
yeah. Because if you play like this against teams like the Lions and even the Bears, they're gonna freaking before you know it, you're gonna be down by 3 touchdowns. You know, you're not gonna be able to come back.
Yeah, so, all right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up. I can't think of anything else that we can really touch on. So make sure you follow Brian over on all his social media stuffs. What is it? It's Cheese Talk _pod for everything else. I know it's on the
Yeah, if you go to I don't know on my Twitter or X, it's cheese talk _pod. Then I got my link tree link in there. You click in there, and all my social media pops up: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
and then you
Twitter.
can follow us, Ohana Packer or Ohana _Packers on the Elon Machine. Ohana Packers Edition on Facebook and Instagram. Please do go follow us on Facebook. We are wanting to hit 100 followers over there so we can start streaming over there. We are going to be doing a giveaway here soon to promote Facebook to get more followers over there. I'm just waiting on some things to come in. So please do pay attention for that. Check out all our socials to keep up to date on that. Follow us wherever you get your favorite podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave comments. We want to hear from you. Send us messages. We want to hear from you. Whether it's I like turtles. I don't care what you say. Me love cookie. That again, I don't care what you say. Just leave us something. If you got any questions, you can drop those too, and we'll try to get to them on our next recording. Hopefully, Mike is better. We'll be previewing the Minnesota game. That episode will be out on Thursday. Go over to our shop. Go over to ohanapackers.org. Click on the shop tab. Go over, pick you up some merch. I don't think this one's on there anymore, but this is my Dobbs. I just caught the ball. I still got my Soul Stealer Josh Jacobs shirt. We have. I just put up one that has it's a tiki with a cheese head on. So go over, get one of those. Help support the show, so we can make money. I like money. Don't you like money?
I do.
So help us. I mean, if you just want to give us the money and don't want merch, I'm sure I can come up with a link or something where you can just be like, here's $1,000.
You know what that's called? That's called a Venmo account, and put your Venmo thing on all your socials.
So at one time on the website we had a button. I got to go in and replace it again, that you could just donate through PayPal or whatever. But yeah, go over there, check that all out. I think do you got any shows coming up, or are you still on the wait and see kind of thing?
I have a show on Saturday. I just can't think of where I have. I know I have them coming up on Saturday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
check
I
that
try
out.
I try to go every Saturday night.
Go over, check that out when Brian goes live. Make sure you thumb up or hit your sub on here so you know when Brian does go live or whenever we go live anywhere else. But as Mike would say, go Pack Go and aloha.
Packers fans out here to stay. Cheeseheads green and gold all day. Jordan Love lead us to the bay. Every game we find a way. Green Bay hustle, grind it up. Hit the field, we don't bluff. Touchdown dances, feel the love. Jordan's got that MVP stuff. It's time for all let's go. Packers bringing that show. It's time for all green and gold gonna glow. Lambeau Field, our sacred ground. Feel the vibe, hear the sound. Packers fans so loud and proud. Jordan Love, he's wearing the crown. Lambeau Field, our sacred ground. Feel the vibe, hear the sound. Packers fans so loud and proud. Jordan Love, he's wearing the crown.